Yo, so did you go see Bad Boys?
Not yet. I was thinking about it.
Oh, man. Come on. You didn't go see Bad Boys?
No, I didn't see it.
How you call yourself a Bad Boys fan and you didn't go out and go see Bad Boys?
I just haven't seen it yet.
Come on, man. That's a bad job by you. And you off.
Wow.
Off on the weekend.
I was off on Sunday with that.
Nah, man.
To the radio
I'm not buying that. You off Saturday night. Don't give me that. You off Saturday night.
Yes.
This guy. How you not go see Bad Boys? You going to see it this weekend? You can redeem yourself.
I can redeem myself.
So are you going to do it? See,
is that my homework assignment now?
Nah, the hell with homework. I think you should go see it. It's a good movie.
I will see it, but I didn't see it this weekend. Who did you go see it with?
I went to go see it with my significant other. We had a great time. She really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was a great time.
Okay, so we have a double stamp of approval for this Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, she loved it.
All right.
For life, baby.
This is Hanging with Hendricks and Hennig.
Welcome to episode 3 of Hanging with Hennig and Hendricks.
Yo. Hendricks
Josh
in the house.
and Deshaun, another edition of the podcast. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. What's this, episode 3?
Yeah.
It's episode 3. Like, that's my favorite number, 3. So that means much mean my lucky night. My lucky night. Some good about to happen to me.
Something good about to happen to you?
Something good is going to happen to me. You got to make fun of how I just rolled off my tongue there, man. Come on, man. Give me a break, man. You always trying to bust my bubble, man.
Well, you're trying to always bust my bubble, so it's a two-way street, man.
I mean, that's what I do, though. I live for that. Like, that's what makes me happy, is making you look like an idiot at times. This dude's a nut, man.
Now you're being ridiculous, and you know
I'm telling you. This guy's a character.
You're the character.
At Josh Hennig on Twitter, right?
You're the one wearing that shirt over there.
What you mean? It's a 3-peat. It's a Jordan shirt. 3-peat.
I mean, that is involved, that shirt.
This shirt is awesome.
That is a noisy shirt, man.
So you're trying to say you don't like my shirt? Like,
I'm just
I
saying
feel like
that
you're trying to tell me in other ways that you don't like my shirt.
No, that's a shirt that you would wear, but I wouldn't wear. That's what I'm saying.
So why wouldn't you wear it, though?
That is not
because it wouldn't look
style.
as good on you.
No, because I don't wear anything that is attention-getting or loud.
This is a Jordan 3-peat shirt.
Great.
I have not met a soul on this God's green earth that doesn't like this shirt.
I like your jacket better than your shirt.
The jacket matches the shirt.
The jacket is fire. The shirt is a little loud.
All right, whatever, man. Look, haters get in line, man. I like the shirt.
Well, speaking of the
I wish
haters,
they could see us right now because I don't think there's nothing wrong with this shirt.
I didn't say anything wrong. I just said it's loud.
It's allowed. So it's a lot of things around the shirt. It's a perfectly good shirt.
It's a lot going on. I prefer solid colors.
See, you prefer a shirt that your great grandma would wear with no type of design.
Now you're mischaracterizing me.
No, I mean I'm just calling it like I see it. You don't like
wear
things
a
on your
solid
shirt.
black T-shirt. That's my go-to.
So you the guy that you don't like the NBA jerseys when they have all the stuff around them and stuff like that, like those type of jerseys. You don't like that?
I wouldn't wear it, but I'm cool with it.
Well, you would wear it if you were the NBA. You ain't got a choice. It's called a job.
Well, it's a uniform.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be a fan of it.
If you have a job and they're paying you millions of dollars and they told you to wear it, I'm going to wear it.
I like this shirt, man. I like it. I don't think it's too noisy.
Can
and
we
it's Jordan. You can't go wrong
now?
with Jordan. I mean, I thought that's what we were doing.
No,
what we talking about tonight, man? Spill the beans.
All right, so we got to talk about the fact that we are both right, though, about the Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, I mean, that was the easiest pick.
We got to talk a little about Zion.
He
is
playing
debuting
tonight.
Wednesday night.
There you go.
We got to talk about Kyrie saying crazy stuff again.
Regular.
And we got to talk some Sixers. And we'll wrap it up with a little, what are you watching over the weekend?
Okay.
How's that?
All right. Sounds like something that wets my beak.
All right. So, unlike the week before, we had the same exact picks for the Super Bowl, and we got it right. It's the Chiefs. It's the 49ers. And I think it's fair to say that a big reason why this is the matchup is because one team has an amazing quarterback, and the other team has an amazing coach.
Those games suck, though. Like before we even get into breaking down the game, like, can we acknowledge that both of those games stunk? Like, I mean, it's championship weekend. You want to see two games that are nail biters or two teams going at it. And the first game, the Titans took a lead, and I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the Chiefs to start being the Chiefs. And then once they did, the Titans never really got back into it, and it was disappointing because we all know that. Like if we being honest, the Titans shouldn't have been there. Like, I tighten up. Where all those tighten up people at? Like, we tightening up.
Well,
like,
the style makes the fight. The matchup of the different types
but
make
keep it 100,
the
Josh.
game. And
keep it
the
100,
reason
though.
why the Titans are championship games is because they would have matched up with anyone not named the Patriots or the Ravens. They wouldn't be there.
Keep it 100, though. Titans had no business being in the AFC Championship game.
But that's not fair to them. They played well, and they had the matchups that satisfied
if New
them
England,
actually having success.
If New England shows up at all, I think they win that game. And if the Ravens don't play like a slop and turn the ball over and don't get fourth down conversions, I think they there. I'm just calling it like I see it. The Titans didn't belong there, and I think it showed on Sunday. Kudos to them. They had a good year. It was a cute story. Derrick Henry, blah, 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 Ryan Tannehill. And another thing, too, all these people that kept trying to tell me that Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback, you see what Ryan Tannehill is. He ain't got no running game. Defense looks a little spotty. He got to save you, and he can't. So
well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I will say is that don't overlook the fact that the Patriots and Ravens both played a style of football that allowed the Titans to be in those games.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, when the Titans were able to run the football and play good defense.
That's all they got.
Yeah.
All they got is Derrick Henry.
And play action pass. They did a good job with that.
Well, but it's off of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
If you get into the kind of game that the Chiefs like to play, slinging it around the yard, like, for example, if the Titans would have played the Texans in the first round, they'd have been out. Easily.
Yeah. Well, that's a division foe. They know them.
That's not the point. The point is that they played the Patriots in the first round and the Bills played the Texans. If that was inverted and it was Bills and Patriots and Titans, Texans,
whoa.
It would have been different.
Yeah, I feel you on that. First of all, I think like it does have a point, though. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to play the same way that they've done in the playoffs because the Texans know them better than anybody else. They play them twice a year. That was my point.
Right, but it's also the fact that the style of the matchup is bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Listen, Deshaun Watson, he can play. He's a baller.
Yeah.
And he's going to sling it all over the yard, and that's not what Tannehill does. Tannehill had success in one game doing that all year long.
Yeah.
And that was a fluke.
Well, Patrick Mahomes, like, he had that touchdown run, man, where he was juking people. He was running people over.
You didn't know if he could do that, did you?
I mean, I knew he could do that.
No, you didn't.
I did know he could do that. If anybody knew he could do that, I knew he could do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you know, I'm Mr. QB guru over here, man.
Oh, yeah,
Come to me
you
for
are.
your QB
Sure.
rankings, baby. Especially guys that can move with their legs. I know that. Like, if anybody know that, that's me. You come to me for that type of knowledge. And Patrick Mahomes, he like in the second tier. He not Lamar. That's the first tier. Lamar the first tier.
You just don't want to admit that you were surprised that he pulled off that run.
No, I mean, I'm telling you, hold on. Like Lamar, he do to people with me and some of my guys like to call slinky neck. Where he make one move and your neck moving the way it ain't supposed to go. That's called slinky neck or jello legs.
When I was younger, we called it whiplash.
What whiplash? How organic and boring is that? Who the hell? We go from slinky neck to whiplash. So jello legs, weak ankles, like that's what Lamar do. Patrick, he don't really do all that. You know, a little mixture, ain't all of that. But Lamar, he tell you slinky neck and jello legs. And when I say, oh snap, like my son, he'll cross somebody slinky neck. Everybody go crazy. Like, they start laughing. They start, like, you say whiplash. That's what you get. Like, nobody's laughing. Nobody's excited. Like, everybody just looking like, really? Whiplash? Like, I don't think that's funny.
It's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be trash talk.
No, that's not trash talk. That's like coach trash talk. Like, a coach would be like, yeah, you do that, say whiplash.
Listen, just because I'm older than you by at least, a decade, doesn't mean you got to disrespect the age
So
gap.
you're 40? You're damn near 40? That's what you're telling me?
I'm in my mid-30s.
Yeah, I mean, you're not older than me. I'm 27.
It's basically a decade.
Man, I don't think that means anything. I think that, listen, you got to get in with the new times. Don't be a big bag. Get off my lawn.
I'm not a big bag.
Don't be that.
But don't be dismissing the world that came before you.
No, listen. I respect OGs. I respect people that come before me that like lay the groundwork for things. But I call it like I see it, and I'm never crossing a dude up and it's saying whiplash.
No, you say guy gave him whiplash. That's what you say.
But that's what old people in a nursing home would say, like, when a guy, like, if they were, oh my God, he got whiplash. Like, that's what they would say when young people would be like, slinky neck, slinky neck, slinky neck.
What does slinky even mean?
Slinky neck, like your neck went this way and then this way, like a slinky.
We're talking on microphones, people listening to us. People don't even know what you just did with your head.
I guarantee you that people would know slinky neck before they, like, people know what slinky neck is.
I know what a slinky is.
People would know what slinky neck is, man.
You know what a slinky is.
We gonna tweet that when we tweet out this pod.
I'm gonna do hashtag slinky neck.
Hashtag slinky neck. Hashtag Jello legs.
I know what Jello legs are. I've heard that before
Weak
numerous
ankles.
times.
Like all that.
Broke their ankles.
Come on, man. It's organic.
All right. I feel like we spent more time on this podcast you criticizing my linguistics than we have actually talking about anything.
I mean, listen, I'm just, I felt like I needed to share some stuff with you.
Did you like wake up on the side of a bed just like, I'm going to come in here and rip Josh today? Like, is that what happened?
No, that's the same side of the bed I wake on every time I see you. I mean, that ain't something new. The other game stunk. 49ers and Packers, like, I didn't even really watch it. I played Madden during that game.
The other game was art.
Art?
It was art.
What the hell you mean
Raheem Mostert destroyed the Packers defense.
Yeah, I seen that.
And the Packers defense had no answer for him. And Kyle Shanahan played an amazing game plan. The Packers GM is lucky he still has a job.
The Packers didn't belong there neither. I'd have rather seen the Seahawks. That's why I picked that. Like, I wanted to see matchups. The Seahawks and Niners, like, it had a lot of meetings.
Wouldn't have given that much of a better matchup. It was in San Francisco.
Stop. Don't do that. The Seahawks played them tough both times. They should have beat them the second time, and they beat them the first time.
Where were they the second time? They were in Seattle, not San Francisco.
They beat them in San Francisco.
This time round, San Francisco was 100% healthy for that game.
Whoa,
they were not fully healthy in the first matchup.
I don't want to hear that, man. Look,
you don't want to hear that.
No, you play
You
football.
don't want to factor in the fact that health has a big
It has
impact
no,
on the
it
game.
has.
Quan Alexander, Armstead.
Come on, Josh, you better than that. You know more football than that. Come on.
Yeah, that's why I'm explaining to you.
That would have been a better matchup.
No, it would not, because the Seahawks are half dead.
Oh, man.
And the 49ers were 100% healthy.
Russell Westbrook is better than Aaron Rodgers.
You mean
Point
Russell
blank,
Wilson?
period. Yeah, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. Yeah, I really said Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Really quick, who is the best NBA player who would play quarterback in the NFL?
God damn. The best, you said the best
NBA player who could play quarterback in the NFL.
That's playing now or ever played?
Right now, just because you
mentioned
Russell
Westbrook.
On,
man, because I was going to say AI. AI
would have didn't say all time.
Come on, man, you killing me right now.
Right here, right now.
Bron could be a tight end.
Quarterback?
Oh, you said quarterback.
Quarterback.
All right, quarterback. Damn, that's tough.
Because you said Russell Westbrook.
That's tough. How the hell did we get to this? This is the
because
most
you
pointless
said Russell Westbrook
ever.
or Russell Wilson. So answer the question.
That was an honest mistake. This is pointless.
No, it's fun. It's called fun conversation.
Oh, you know fun. God forbid. Oh, you know fun. The guy that wants to get rid of Slinky Neck and put in Whiplash. That guy knows fun.
I just said I didn't know where it came from.
Ben Simmons. How about Ben Simmons? He's 6'10". It'd be great to see him play quarterback. He can throw.
That'd be the tallest quarterback ever, I think.
Yeah. And it'd be something he don't get criticized for because the only thing he can do is pass.
Yeah. You don't need to shoot any jump shots then.
Nah.
Now the question is, though, Ben shoots left-handed, but he writes right-handed. So what would he throw with?
I don't know. Dude will figure it out.
Would he end up throwing both hands just to mess with people?
I mean, as long as when he does throw with both hands, it's accurate passes.
It'd be actually funny if he did throw both hands, because then we could have like these like breakdowns of which hand he's better at throwing at, and have a whole other conversation to complain about him with.
Yeah, that's another dude that could start saying that should be playing over Wentz.
All right, so 49ers, Chiefs.
Yeah.
We're not doing picks right now. But
nah, we got next week for that.
But I will say this. I'm happy this is the matchup.
Yeah.
I'm happy
great
this
defense,
is the Super
great
Bowl.
offense.
Because
we know I'm rooting for Andy too.
Right. You just said it. It's defense, offense. It's Andy Reid. It's Kyle Shanahan looking for redemption. It's the underdog story like Raheem Mostert. It's, Pat Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league on the biggest stage in the NFL. This is what you want for your Super Bowl. You want the biggest story you possibly can have. And I'm sorry, Titans. And I'm sorry.
Tighten up. I'm going to do that. Every time you say Titans, I'm doing that.
And I'm sorry,
Tighten
Seahawks. And I'm sorry, some of you other teams that were in the playoffs. But
Ravens flock.
But if you would have been against the Chiefs, for example, some of you NFC teams, you would have been destroyed. And some of you AFC teams would have been completely embarrassed by the 49ers.
Hold on. I'm feeling that. Hold on. Fly, Eagles, fly. Come on, give me more. Who else lost?
If the Eagles would have beat the Seahawks in the first round, they wouldn't have made it past the second round at all.
Deshaun was coming back. You don't know.
You know who would have been throwing Deshaun the ball? Nate Sudfeld.
Carson Wentz would have came back.
He was actually, they didn't clear him before the weekend. He would not have been cleared.
I mean, who knows?
And Josh McCown ripped his hamstring. Nate Sudfeld with his backup, Greg Ward.
I like Nate.
You're hanging with Hendricks and Hennig.
I don't think people know that you say none of this garbage to me off the microphone. You're completely nice to me off the microphone.
I love you. Man. I still love you on the mic. It's just fun to pick with you, man, because your facial expressions be priceless.
Make no sense sometimes.
I mean, you be saying some off-the-wall stuff. There was one time...
And you don't?
I always say off the... That's my motto. I say off-the-wall stuff all the time. Like, if you listen to me, you know I'm saying some off-the-wall crazy stuff. But a lot of my stuff, first of all, I come with the heart. So you know I believe it. It's one thing for a dude to say some off-the-wall crazy stuff, and you know he don't even mean to say the stuff that he's saying. Like, he just saying it off of, this is what I think I should be saying.
Oh, you mean
I say it because well, there you go. I say it because I believe it. Like, when I told you that Lamar Jackson was going to be special this year, I said it because I believed it. A lot of people thought it was off the wall crazy.
Right. And
he the MVP.
But I didn't criticize you for it because I felt like you were coming from a place of some information.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, I don't just say crazy stuff because it's crazy. Like when I said Markelle Fultz will come out this year and look more like the player that was drafted out of Washington. He ain't totally back, but he's played really well this year. Like, I feel like that he is on the track to be back. People thought I was crazy.
And who's the one do you message about giving you gambling picks?
You.
Exactly.
Because you be right. You be hitting on them. He be hitting on them. You want to make some money, DM Josh Hennig.
Because you want to talk about somebody who is crazy? Somebody who does say crazy stuff? For those who didn't hear, Kyrie Irving said this right before the Martin Luther King Day games. So, he already had this on his mind. He knew he was thinking about this for a while before he opened his crazy mouth. Because you want to talk about crazy people saying crazy stuff? That's a perfect introduction, D, for this.
And when I was out for those 7 weeks and not saying anything, and still people are still saying things about me, it's inevitable. They crucified Martin Luther King for speaking about peace and social integration. You could go back to historical leaders and great people in society that do great things, and they're still going to talk shit about them. It is what it is. Like,
that wasn't as bad as you made it sound.
This dude literally is putting himself in the same sentence as one of the greatest human beings ever walked the face of the earth.
Hold on, because there's two things to that. I see where you coming from. Like, he could have changed it. I think because it was Martin Luther King Day, it was on his mind. But he is right about people crucifying him for things that they don't know. Like, he could have used a better choice of words or a better reference, but he is right about what he was saying. Like, that's crazy. Like, he was out for autumn weeks. People were making memes about him. He the new Markelle Fultz, mystery shoulder injury, this, that, and the third. My thing is that, first of all, you not him, so you don't know what he's feeling. Second of all, he ain't saying nothing, so that's making you more mad as the media. My problem with the media is that...
Well, first of all, real quick, the people who are saying stuff are on Twitter. They're not even the media half the time.
Well, the media was saying stuff too. There were stories written about him. That's fine.
Let's be fair. You can't be so thin-skinned all the time. Just because people say something negative about you online or they're not to your face doesn't mean anything.
I agree, but they stuck a microphone in his mouth though, and they were asking him questions. So obviously he's gonna give an answer.
You are a grown man. Until somebody walks up to you as a grown man and says to your face those things, then it's all insignificant.
So let me ask you a question. He didn't come out and just say this. They put a microphone in his mouth and asked him questions. Right, correct or incorrect?
Correct.
He didn't say, like, the hell with y'all, I'm not talking to y'all. He gave them a soundbite. My thing is that could he have used a better choice of words? Obviously, he's not saying he's Dr. King. He's saying that.
But isn't that an example of how out of touch he is? That he can't even get the words out right. Like he says last year about what he said about the Celtics, right? And then 2 years ago, what he said about Kevin Love. This guy is constantly saying.
Well, he's a
stuff.
unique individual. He's like what I call a unique individual.
No, that's an excuse.
I don't think he's a unique individual. He's different.
No, I'm a unique individual. This dude is
well, you
nuts.
different too in a different way.
Okay, this guy literally thinks things of himself that are not based in reality.
That's fair. He's still a great basketball player.
He's saying that he's a leader on the same level as other great leaders of the past.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
No, dude, I don't want to hear that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
he tripping on that.
Listen, you know what leaders do? They don't go out there and make it all about them. And that's the problem.
I agree with that.
Kyrie makes it too much about him. And that's why he will make him an analogy like that and say crazy stuff. Because he's so concerned about himself and not anything else.
Kevin Durant need to come back, man. Like, Kevin Durant need to come back and rescue that whole situation. That whole situation ain't nothing but a big cluster.
Strange.
A big cluster. Like,
it's so weird, man.
Like, it's some bull stuff down there, man. Like, first of all,
I don't understand what is going on in that locker room. I don't know why every locker room Kyrie walks in that things get weird.
Keep it 100.
And I don't think it's all Kyrie. Because I don't like these people who sit there and act like it's all Kyrie's fault. Let's be realistic. Boston was just as much Brad Stevens' fault as it was Kyrie's fault.
But the hell with all that, though. I want to talk about Brooklyn, because he in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The hell what happened in Boston? Keep it 100. If you was Kyrie, would you have just shut it down for the year? With that shoulder stuff? Like, nothing good.
No.
But hold on. Listen to me. And we keep it in 100 here. The hell with politics. The hell with politically correct, all that. We talking like two ballers.
Yeah.
I'm in the locker room right now. You, Kyrie. I'm your agent. We speaking real talk. Ain't no cameras. Ain't nothing around. We speaking real talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kyrie, you have nothing to gain by playing the rest of this year. Y'all make the playoffs. Y'all lose in the first round. You ain't good enough by yourself. You need KD. Y'all lose in the second round. You ain't good enough. You need KD. You ain't making this in the conference finals. I don't give a damn who the hell y'all trade for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we going to stop it there. If you take the rest of this year off, get healthy, get your mind right, come back with KD, he's already looked at as he's better than you. So now he has all that pressure. Why not take the rest of the year off?
Because then it'll look bad.
Who gives a damn? It ain't going to look as bad as you coming back and losing in the first round.
But at least if you come back, you show your teammates that you're committed to the team. You're committed to the organization. You're not just out there collecting a paycheck for doing nothing.
Yeah, but I mean,
if he thinks he's a leader, like he said, I'm a leader, like other leaders of the great past, right? Then you got to be out there with your teammates. But don't
that mean something to Kyrie though? Like, Kyrie left Cleveland because he didn't want to be under LeBron's shadow. Kyrie wants to be the guy,
right?
So if Kyrie ain't healthy enough, or he gonna get criticized because he was the guy and they weren't that good. If he's legitimately still playing with that injury, which I think he is, I think he's not totally healthy.
I don't think anybody's totally healthy, but I will say that I think that there's a part of him that says, look, I'm a competitor. I want to be out there. Listen.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
As much as I criticize Kyrie is one of the top talents in the NBA, and he's a competitor. I personally may not like his attitude, some of the crazy stuff he says.
You definitely don't like Kyrie.
Okay, I don't think he's an elevator. I think he's a me-first personality, but the dude is two things. He is a competitor, and he is one of the best talents in the league. And the league is better when he's out there, even if he's not 100%. 80 to 85% Kyrie is still better than 80% of the league.
Me, myself, and Irving. That's what you about to call him? Me, myself, and Irving?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Can I steal that one?
You can do whatever the hell you want. You can take it. I mean, I stole it from Skip Bayless. He used to call Iverson Me, Myself, and Iverson.
Yeah, well, Skip doesn't have half the competitive juices that Iverson does, so that guy's a fraud.
Oh, there you go.
But the point is with Kyrie is that I don't want to tell him he needs to shut up, but sometimes I think he just needs to back off. Like, don't talk so much. You don't need to turn everything into a statement about anything, about you or the team or leadership or some soliloquy. Like, dude, it can just be people don't know my situation. I'm out here trying to play for my teammates. Next question. And guess what? You
Kyrie
don't owe the
no shorts, man.
And guess what? You don't owe the media anything. You don't have to answer every question with a full answer.
Kyrie ain't taking no shorts, man. He ain't taking no shorts. He ain't that type of guy. You got to listen. At the end of the day, he ain't that type of guy. He ain't taking no shorts. He telling it like how he feel, and that's how he feel.
I don't respect you putting yourself in the same category as MLK Jr. That's me. But what do I know?
I've been asking the same stuff for I don't know, years.
Speaking of putting people in categories, Wednesday night, the return, the debut, the coming, the second coming, whatever you want to call it, of Zion Williamson, the number 1 overall pick. And I've been talking to a bunch of people about this in the week leading up to this, and I want to bring you in to this conversation, D, because you and I talk a lot of basketball, and we keep it 100 here on Hanging with Hennig and Hendricks Podcast.
Keep it nothing but 100.
I look at Zion, and I think the hype is going to be greater than he is. I don't think there's any way that this young man is ever going to live up to the hype around him. Not that he's going to be a bad basketball player, but people act like he's going to be LeBron or LeBron 2.0. And I don't think that's fair to him. Let the kid go out and play basketball. But I understand the culture we live in, the world we live in, goes out there and crowns people before they've ever done anything. And I understand that. But when I look at Zion, I don't see LeBron. I see Sean Kemp or Blake Griffin.
Oh, man.
Or,
you haven't seen enough of Zion, though. You haven't really seen Zion. Like, Zion, I seen in the preseason look like he could beat Bron.
That was one game.
My thing is that from what I saw, he has the potential to be anything he wants. He was scoring. He was rebounding. He looked like a beast. I think that you need to give him this season before you say, all right, I think his ceiling is this or he could be that. Like, I think that, first of all, he's such a dynamic talent and he's a hard worker. He could have easily shut it down and it'd be like, look, I ain't playing. He could have pulled a Ben Simmons. Could have pulled, like, let's call it how it is. That's what Ben Simmons did.
Yeah.
He was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was healthy.
We saw him dunking.
He was healthy. Excuse me. And like I said, I just don't feel like that Zion is that type of cat.
But you don't think the hype has been too ridiculous?
Yeah, but that's because of the hype he had in high school. Like, he was the guy in high school dunking on everybody. He was a walking dunk contest. Then at Duke, what he did for the Blue Devils, and you look at Cam Reddish this year.
Cam Reddish was always overrated. You called that from the beginning.
Yeah,
so.
But I like Cam, but he stinks right now if we keeping it 100.
He is not up to speed.
He stinks.
He is way behind.
I mean, you can make any excuse. He stinks right now.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying he
stinks.
His basketball development is behind.
RJ Barrett, meh.
He has good and bad games.
Nah, he's got okay and horrible.
He has games for the Knicks where he'll go out there and score 24 and get like 10 rebounds. And then another game where he scores 4 points shooting like 1 for 10.
My thing about Zion is that the Pelicans went from a team rebuilding to a possible 8th seed because of Zion. Like, people seen Zion and was like, he's that good. People didn't say that with RJ and they didn't say that with Cam.
Yeah, but to me, when you heard people like Steve Kerr saying, we haven't seen a guy like this since LeBron, that's not fair.
That's hyperbole. That's what I like to call hyperbole.
But that's what I mean. People have set this such a high bar for him.
I'd have took Ja number 1.
Well, if you would have let me get there, I would have gotten there. Don't jump ahead here. If these people are making him to be like he's the second coming, like on television they're saying this is the most hyped athlete since LeBron and Kareem. You can't put a dude in that category ahead before he ever gets there because we still haven't seen him do it. He's been injured 3 times since he started college basketball. Now, the one injury was a complete fluke, but the other 2 are concerning because the guy needs to lose some weight. He's too thick and heavy for his frame.
I think that's overrated.
He said himself that he had to learn how to land differently because he doesn't want to hurt his knees anymore. Like, I'm concerned about his durability.
That's a legit concern. At the end of the day, I just don't see it as that big of a deal. He is what he is. You drafted him. That type of guy is not going to all of a sudden look like Matisse Thybulle.
I don't want to look like Thybulle, but I'm just saying 280 on a 6'6" frame. That's
he's got to drop the
player.
weight. He's got to drop the weight. But some of the things that make him so special is his athletic ability with that type of size. And strength.
But he would be even more athletic if he lost about 20.
Maybe. But what I was saying is, before you rudely interrupted me, was that I'd have took Ja first.
And I would have too.
Ja
is a basketball player first, not just a freak athlete who plays basketball. And I'm not dismissing Zion. Like I said, to me, I think he's more likely to be Sean Kemp and Blake Griffin than anything else. That means he's a perennial all-star.
Okay.
But to me, Ja is another level of special. Because Ja is a guy who elevates everyone around him. He did it at a college that most people didn't even know existed, Murray State, right? And with the Grizzlies, he's doing things that nobody else can do.
No, but the thing that made Ja special is that point guard to me is a position that can change your franchise. Like point guard, look at Ja. Like, here's my thing. Ja is a dude that I think could be MVP of this league one day. Like, that's how good he is.
And part of that is because he elevates.
Yeah, he makes guys
everyone around him better because he himself is so great. He wants to bring you with him. He goes, come with me. Don't just follow me. Come with me as we conquer.
Yeah, he's a leader.
Like when he turned around and was yelling, MFer at James Harden. Some people with their hypersensitivity will go online like, oh, this guy's cursing in the middle of a game. No, he's a competitor. He wants Harden to know that he ain't going anywhere. That is another level of greatness. And that's why I agree with you. Josh should have been the number one pick, but he wasn't going to be because the Pelicans are trying to sell tickets. And the Pelicans knew they had to make up for Anthony Davis leaving, so they needed to get a box office attraction, first and foremost. And that's okay, because the Pelicans will probably never win an NBA championship, and Ja Morant will.
I'd have took Ja personally. I love Zion. I think Zion's going to be great. I don't think that you win with power forwards and centers in this league. I think you win with guards and wings. I think that's where you win championships.
I also don't think you win with guys who are positionless and no one really knows what they're going to do when
I agree with that.
A
la Ben Simmons.
Right. Well, Ben Simmons is another one. What is Ben Simmons?
Can I say this real quick?
What is Zion Williamson? What are these guys?
I want to get this off my chest. Martin Luther King Day the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sixers play the Nets.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons gets 34.
Triple-double.
Yeah, triple-double.
I think it was 34, 12, and 12.
I go down my Twitter, and everybody is like, who the hell are you to trade? Not just regular fans, like writers, too. I'm not going to call people out, but writers for the team, all types of stuff.
I saw him.
You're a fool if you ever trade Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons for D'Angelo Russell, idiots. Ben Simmons this. I'm like, yo, let's keep it 100. Because this, I keep saying this, but this is what me and you do. We keep it 100. Dude dropped 34 against the Nets with no Kyrie, no Durant, no pressure. He didn't shoot one jump shot that was meaningful in that whole game. I don't care about Ben Simmons getting a triple-double against a team that stinks. Brooklyn, without Kyrie and Durant, they stink. Like, I'm keeping it 100 here. Ben Simmons does not fit with Joel Embiid. And this is going to bring us into our next thing about the Bogan and Robert Covington.
The other Bogdan, by the way.
Yeah. The shooter from Sacramento.
Right, Bogdanovich, but not Bojan from Utah. It's Bogdan. His brother.
No.
You're not even getting the good one, but go on.
My thing is that you trying to put a Band-Aid on a over-bleeding wound. Yeah, Stop trying to build these teams with Ben Simmons where you got shooters around him, because that's not going to win you playoff series. You seen 2 years ago when you played the Celtics, Ben Simmons, first of all, they play him in the paint and they just stay glued to the shooters. Not only is that bad, on defense, these one-dimensional shooters that you keep trying to trade for
can't play defense.
Can't play no lick of defense. So now they can't even be on the floor. Like, stop trying to put a Band-Aid on this wound. Ben Simmons does not fit. Brett Brown got to go, man. He got to go because his vision with this team is not going to win him a championship. I'm sorry. I'm keeping it 100. I don't care what nobody got to say. Ben Simmons does not fit with Joel Embiid. You got to make a decision here. If you building around Joel Embiid, you got to get you a point guard, a real point guard.
A scoring point guard.
A scoring point guard. Like, I trade Ben Simmons right now for De'Aaron Fox. I trade him right now for Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Trae Young. Like, I'm trading him. I don't care about generational talent. I don't care about how this guy can triple doubles. Hold on, let me finish. Because I'm about to put a bow on this. Like, I don't care about none of that. If I'm building around Joel Embiid, then I need me a guy that's going to maximize Joel Embiid. I'm not trying to get a guy that can fit with Ben Simmons, because at this point, nobody wants to play with this dude. Jimmy Butler wanted out. They couldn't make Markelle Fultz fit. No matter what Markelle Fultz was, I don't even think if Markelle Fultz was healthy, he would have fit here because he would have wanted the ball, and we want to placate the Ben Simmons. Like I'm tired of hearing that crap, man.
Having talent and ability means nothing to me, and here's why. There's a lot of people who have talent and ability, but they don't have the ability to step up in the big moments. How many dudes who have come through the NBA who have the ability to score, rebound, play defense, or do all of those things, but they never win championships? There's tons of dudes who have talent. I don't deny that Ben Simmons has talent, but at some point, is Ben Simmons ever going to take over a game?
Ben Simmons can take over a regular season game against a garbage team.
He can, but he won't.
I don't think he won't. That's not in his DNA, man.
That's the problem. You just described that whole, I got shooters around you. Yeah, they stole the idea from LeBron in Cleveland because LeBron can do that because when LeBron says, my shooters aren't making shots, I'm going to take the ball to the basket, I'm going to be a scorer, I'm going to take over the game. Ben don't do that. Ben don't have the mentality. Ben don't have the attitude.
You don't got that alpha, man.
There's something to be said for a guy who says, give me the ball and get out of my way.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the books I'm reading right now, the book Showtime by Jeff Pearlman, it's documenting the history of the Lakers, all right? The 80s Lakers from Kareem and Magic and all those guys. And the Lakers had a point guard named Norm Nixon. The guy was phenomenally talented, one of the fastest dudes in the NBA. They said he had tree trunks for legs. Like, he was a freak athlete for his era. But guess what? He didn't have that alpha it factor. And he said, I should have the ball. I'm the point guard. And dudes are like, dude, Magic Johnson needs the ball in his hands, not you, because Magic Johnson is special. Magic is an alpha. Magic takes over games. Magic is a winner. You're not. And that's the problem. I think Ben Simmons is closer to a Norm Nixon than he is to a Magic Johnson. He's a dude with phenomenal athletic ability, phenomenal talent, but he is not a guy who's going to take the ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock and get you a bucket.
No, and I think that's the problem. If Ben Simmons is your third option on your team,
you're probably winning a championship.
You're going to win a championship because he can do everything else. The problem is for this team, you want him to be your first or second, and that's just not.
It's not going to
what
happen.
he do. It's not what he does. Like, my thing is that everybody wants to sit here and say Ben Simmons, wait for him. Ben Simmons didn't play his rookie year because he was hurt.
Correct.
Like, I've seen enough of Ben Simmons to know that he will never be the shooter that everybody wants him to be because he doesn't want to be. It's not because he can't. He doesn't want to be. And if he doesn't want to be as an organization, you need to say, okay, we need to either get a guy that can play that position. Here's the other thing, too. Ben Simmons wants to be the point guard. He doesn't want to play any other position. He wants to be the point guard.
That's fine. Then don't ask him to score. Go out and get other players to play around him. But like you said, when they did get those players, they didn't want to be here.
Exactly, because they need the ball.
Dudes look at him and say, this dude is this talented and this capable, and he's not playing up to his level of ability.
Hold on, because that goes back to what I just said. Like, he wants to be the point guard. Jimmy Butler comes in, like, I would have rather Jimmy Butler run point because he can score, and Ben don't have the pressure to score. He can run a transition and do his thing. Like, Ben Simmons has a silent ego. That's what I like to call it, silent ego. He doesn't talk, but behind closed doors, I think he talks, and he lets people know, like, I don't want to play with this guy. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do that. If you're building around Joel Embiid, Ben got to go. He got to go. If you're building around Ben, Joel's going to have to go. This is going to be a classic Kobe and Shaq situation where these guys can't coexist. And now you're getting a Kobe and Shaq situation possibly without the titles. Like, at least Kobe and Shaq won 3 titles.
Well, the biggest difference between Kobe and Shaq was you had 2 alphas in Kobe and Shaq. I'm sorry. Ben is not an alpha.
Nah.
And listen, I'm going to say it to you. I was wrong. I thought Ben was going to be a great player in the NBA. And not that he won't be, but I think he's an all-star, not a legend.
Not a superstar.
He's not a legend.
Not a superstar.
He's not an all-timer. He may have all-time physical ability, but again, NBA history is full of dudes with great physical ability. You know who was actually more talented than Ben Simmons coming out of college? Who had to become the not number 1, not the number 2, number 3 and 4th option on team to win a championship? Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is arguably one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen to play the game of basketball. The dude played all 5 positions at Rhode Island. What the heck is Rhode Island? They never won zilch. He got them in the NCAA tournament because he played all 5 positions. Lamar Odom could shoot threes. He could play defense. He could block. But in the NBA, he didn't have that it factor because he couldn't carry a team. He couldn't lead a group of men. He could just play great among other young players. And guess what? That's what I think Ben Simmons is closer to. Lamar Odom won a championship with the Lakers because he was what? Not the first, not the second. He wasn't even the third option. A lot of times when Bynum was dominating that one series, he was the 4th option, was Lamar Odom.
You know what we call dudes in the locker room that are supposed to be the guy that can't be the guy? Like Ben Simmons reminds me a little bit of his dad coached the team. Like Brett Brown's his dad. And he the point guard. So everybody got to placate to him. But Joel Embiid is really the best player on the team.
He is.
But hold on. Feel my reference, though. But because Ben Simmons' dad is the coach, everything about him, it ain't about the best player. It's about what's best for my son type of thing. And your son don't shoot or nothing, but you want to make sure that he on the floor at the end of the game because God forbid you bench him. Not that he ain't nice, but he don't fit winning. Like, they win in a couple regular season games in a row, that's fine. They could go on a stretch without Joel. Everything could go kumbaya. Everything could look good. Once you get in the playoffs where I got 4 out of 7 times where I got to beat you, I get the game plan for you, everything, all that. Now, you making jump passes from the free throw line, I know they coming, so I'm waiting to pick them off.
Ben Simmons,
you get exposed, man.
If Ben Simmons meets his potential, you know who he's going to be? He's going to be Peyton Manning. He's going to be Jim Kelly. He's going to be one of those great players who can't win the big game. I think that's who he is. And I think that's all he'll ever be. Listen, if you're going to build a team around a guy who's just really, 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 really good, that's on you. But you know what? NBA history is full of teams who pick the wrong guy to build around. If you're the Sixers, you don't want to be part of that history, do you?
No.
And I understand Embiid's been injured a bunch of times. But you know what? Name me an athlete who ever played a sport who's not like a freak, who's never been injured. Guys get injured all the time. We act like certain dudes get injured more than others because that's who's on our team we're rooting for example, right? We nitpick the guy because we see him every night. But if it's somebody else's team, it's, that's a shame that so-and-so is injured. That's how we do it. People act like Kobe Bryant was never injured. Kobe Bryant was actually injured several times during his career, and he had to miss games. But we still act like Kobe is one of the greatest of all time because he is. And I'm not denying that Joel Embiid has an injury history, but let's be realistic. His most recent injuries have nothing to do with his knee, have nothing to do with his back, have nothing to do with his foot. When he got banged into by Markelle Fultz a couple years ago, that was a fluke accident. He had ligaments and his bone ripped in his finger. That's a fluke accident. That's not injury prone. Injuries happen. So I'm sorry that maybe Joel Embiid isn't ever going to play an 82-game schedule, but if Joel Embiid every year plays 67 games and you eventually win an NBA title, I'm good with that. Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm with it.
All right, Hanging with Hennig and Hendricks, the podcast. Hear a word from our sponsors first.
You're Hanging with Hendricks and Hennig.
All right, let's talk about some NBA midseason award winners. I want your MVP. I want your Rookie of the Year. I want your Sixth Man of the Year. I want your Coach of the Year. Go.
My MVP right now, I got to say Giannis. I think Giannis has improved his game. He's been the best player in the league on a consistent basis. And the sky's the limit for that dude, man. Sixth Man of the Year, I got to still go with Lou. Lou's been hooping. He's still a guy that can come off the bench and change a game. Coach of the Year, I guess you got to go with Vogel right now because the Lakers are the number 1 team in the West. Nobody really seen that coming. They've had injuries with AD, Bron sometimes, and the supporting cast really ain't great, but, that team has still been able to play well enough. Most improved player, I think, is Markelle Markel's revived his career, and kudos to him. He went from coming off the bench again to starting, to getting a triple-double, taking over games late against a great team, the Lakers. So that right there. And am I missing somebody? Am I missing?
Rookie of the year is Ja Morant.
Yeah, Ja. I mean, not even going to explain that one.
So the only one I'm going to disagree with you on is Coach of the Year. And I'm not saying I totally dismiss Vogel. I think that's a great pick by you. But I think we got to give consideration for Nick Nurse. This Raptors team was supposed to be a bunch of nobodies without Kawhi Leonard.
Pascal Siakam kind of emerged, and they still got Kyle Lowry. I see where you're going, but I don't want to oversaturate it. Like, they're not number one in the East enough, and they in that clog jam from 3 to 6.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm a big believer that, again, my definition of Coach of the Year is a guy who's doing a great job that nobody expected. And to me, like, for example, when like Mike D'Antoni won a couple of years ago, I would have given it to Quinn Snyder of the Jazz that year. I mean, that team was a bunch of nobodies, and they were, the 6th, 5th seed that year? I like to give it to coaches who, like Nate McMillan a couple of years ago, when Oladipo got injured, and they still made the playoffs. Like, to me, I think too much we look at the coach's win-loss record and not the overall job that he did. To me, what differentiates great coaches from good coaches is great coaches see their situation and figure out how to make the players successful. The good coaches try to fit everybody into their system and say, go out and run it. And I look at guys in all sports. We don't give enough credit to dudes who take slop or take underachievers or take guys who aren't supposed to be anything and elevate them. I think one of the things that makes us question, for example, a guy like Phil Jackson, whenever he won, he had Kobe and he had Jordan. When did Phil ever have a rebuild? When did Phil ever have to?
Well, he had one a couple in New York, and he got fired.
Right. Well, and he wasn't even the coach. He purposely stayed away from the coaching. No. There was no losses on his record. Notice how that worked out for him.
Yeah.
He avoided the win-loss record, so he had to be hands-on with the organization. I don't think that when we look at sports history, we too often focus on a dude's win-loss record instead of looking at it and say, Larry Brown took the Pacers and the Pistons and the Sixers, and he won a national title and an NBA title. The dude won everywhere he went. And he won with anything. He won with David Robinson. He won with Allen Iverson. He won with Rasheed Wallace. He won with Reggie Miller. He won with everybody. He won with Danny Manning at Kansas. Like, this guy won with anything you gave him. And I think that, to me, is a better sign of a great coach than just your win-loss record.
It's fair. There you go.
All right. So before we get out of here, this weekend, as you're listening to the podcast, we are recording this on Wednesday night. So we are leading into the weekend for you. This is the first weekend of a non-relevant football game since August.
Ain't nobody watching the damn Pro Bowl.
This weekend is the Senior Bowl and the Pro Bowl. The Senior Bowl is on Saturday. The Pro Bowl is on Sunday. Now, I want to ask you, what are you watching then this weekend? Are you going to carve any time out of your schedule to watch either of those games?
Nah. I mean, the Senior Bowl, I might sneak peek. Pro Bowl, I mean, Lamar playing, so I might check in for a little bit. Not really, though. I might find some movies to watch or something. I might go see Bad Boys 2 again. 3 again.
I'll say Bad Boys 2 is on demand.
I'm not very interested in the football this week.
Now, is it because they're not relevant games?
Yeah, because I mean the Senior Bowl is relevant because you want to evaluate talent, and that's part of our job.
There's nobody.
But I can watch highlights of the prospects, and or I don't have to watch every snap to get the whole story. I already know what I need to know. I got tape from all year long of what they did in relevant games. The Senior Bowl really ain't going to tell me nothing. As far as the Pro Bowl, I mean, like I said, I'm a sneak peek because Lamar's playing and he's must-see TV. But nobody really plays in the Pro Bowl.
Well, the Pro Bowl had its highest ratings last year in years, for whatever that's worth.
I mean, again, I can't talk myself into really watching it from first to fourth quarter. So I'll probably find something else to do. Probably play some Madden.
Now, do you think that there are people who are going to tune in, though, just because it's football?
You got some people but they won't tune in for long because they'll see the product.
Right.
And they won't be enamored with it.
Can the NFL, though, do anything to make the Pro Bowl better? And I ask that because I feel like to me, the best All-Star game is probably the NBA's.
Yeah.
And I would say probably the second best is, give or take your personal preference, is either baseball or hockey. I don't like the current version of the hockey All-Star game because I think it's too confusing for the average person. So I would probably go with baseball number 2 just because of that. But I think if hockey went back to what they did before, which I thought was great. The NBA took this idea from hockey, the whole draft thing. The 2 captains, they draft a team, and then you go out and see guys play against guys they never played with or against before. I like that. It reminds me of pickup basketball. It reminds me of pickup sports. When you were a kid, when I was a kid, there was no Eastern, Western Conference. There was no hyper rules. It was just, hey, you got 5 guys, I got 5 guys, let's go. I like that concept, and I think that's what I love what the NBA All-Star Game is doing now. That's what the hockey was doing
before.
The
NBA All-Star Weekend is an event in itself. The All-Star Game is cool, but the weekend is what makes it. Like Fridays, you got the celebrity, you got the rookie showcase.
Yep.
You got, everything about Friday night is awesome. A lot of people are just getting down there, like you vacationing. It's going to be on Valentine's weekend this weekend, so it's going to be a lot of, TGI Fridays, Buffalo Wild Wings type of thing. Like Friday's awesome. Saturday, you kind of chilling throughout the day. Everybody getting ready for the dunk contest, 3-point shootout. You making your bets, skills competition. And then Saturday night is also a great night. Sunday is kind of like, I forgot about the actual All-Star game. Like, but
it's still appointment.
Yeah, you gonna view it and get into it. So NBA All-Star Weekend does a great job.
Can the NFL do anything to make their All-Star game better?
No, because it comes a week after the championship games, a week before the Super Bowl. Like, they would have to do it during the season. Like, if they did it like week 6 or 7, it gave everybody a bye week, the same week, and did the All-Star game like mid-season, maybe, because but it's tough with football because then the next week everybody's playing again and everybody. Right. It's tough. I don't know how they would do it, honestly, if they can get creative with it. It's just the time that they're doing it, it's tough to really consume it.
But also, you don't want to make it so creative that it's ridiculous. Like, that's the problem with sports. And like, what hockey is, for those who don't know, what hockey does now, and I don't like this, it's a 3-on-3 tournament between the divisions.
I wouldn't even, you couldn't pay me to watch hockey's All-Star
that's confusing,
stuff.
Isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
What I just described to you is that would be like the Atlantic Division plays the Central and the winner plays the Pacific in the NBA, and it's 3-on-3. Like, what?
Nah, I'm not even entertaining that.
Like, that's confusing. You can't do that to the because here's the thing people don't understand. And I try to explain this to people all the time. People don't understand. Sports make money because you're appealing to more than just the diehards. That's how you make money. You're not just giving in to the diehard sports fan. You know why Conor McGregor is the popular MMA fighter? Because people want to watch him whether he wins or loses. He's a villain and he's a hero. You're not getting that when you're confusing the viewer. You don't want to give them any reason to change the channel.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with the Pro Bowl. You're giving people a reason to change the channel. And I think that's part of another reason why that they're not being successful, because it's like, well, what does this game mean? Why should I watch this? Well, it's the best players in the world. Well, I watch the best players all season long, right? And I got the Super Bowl next week. So this is the weekend that me and my significant other are going to go out, or me and my kids are going to go do something, or I'm going to go catch up on my DVR shows, or I'm going to go to the movies, or I'm going to go pick up an extra shift at work to make some extra money. Like, whatever your situation is, they are literally giving you a reason not to watch, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm going to find something else better to do.
All right, let's wrap it up here. Deshaun Hendricks' Twitter account is
@Deshaun Hendrick, no S at the end, @Deshaun Hendrick.
I am @Josh Hennig. HENNIG at Josh Hennig. Make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, every podcast platform. We are out there. We are here each and every week to talk about whatever's on our mind.
Slinky neck, jello legs.
I prefer jello legs.
Weak ankles.
I like weak ankles.
Slinky neck.
Slinky neck is just too much. Did you even own a slinky as a kid?
Yeah. Why you look so surprised by that?
I am shocked by that.
Slinky neck, baby. Taking over the globe. Slinky neck.
He's Zion Hendricks. I'm Josh Hennig. We'll catch you next time.